done. Okay, just a couple ideas on how to make some easy cards with probably things you have at home already. This is a paper trimmer so that your lines are straight, some adhesive. This is nice, it's a bone folder. It just will make sure that your creases are nice. So these are all helpful things to cut and make the cards look nice. And then you just need some cardstock. And to do this first batch, I'm using 3 sheets of cardstock and 1 coordinating sheet of scrapbook paper, 12 by 12. As long as the colors go well together, it doesn't really matter what they are. So I'm pulling out the blues in the center because I think that looks nice. Let me show you, before I cut, what I did. I made a sample up for you. These are the easiest, simplest cards ever. All it is scrapbook paper on a base and a flip open card. I did a greeting here, just thinking of you, and that's it. So all you have to do is cut the paper. You could print this out like a label on your computer, the greeting. If you have a rubber stamp, that works, or whatever. You could do whatever shape you'd like there. So I got 6, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards just like this out of 1 piece of scrapbook paper.
What are your end sizes, Sheri?
I will show you.
Okay.
And then there were scraps, and so I made with the scraps another one.
Cute.
So I got 7 cards out of 1 piece of scrapbook paper. Okay. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to cut the cardstock. There's 2 ways to cut the cardstock. So I'm going to show you this way first. This is called the hot dog cut because you are cutting it lengthwise. So just put your scrapbook paper in, or I'm sorry, no, your cardstock in at 4 1/4 and cut. And then score it at 5 1/2. And that is your hot dog cut. And then you just fold it in the center, take your bold folder and crease it so it looks nice. And you want to do that so that you have 7 pieces of cardstock. So my trimmer can cut multiple layers, so I'll go ahead and do that real quick. So again, it's 4 1/4. Cut. Sorry, my hand camera is probably jiggling a little bit. And then 5 1/2 is the score. And that just gives you a nice fold.
So you get 2 cards out of a 12 by 12 piece?
No, I'm getting 2 cards out of an 8 1/2 by 11. So I'm just cutting this in half.
So if you had a 12 by 12, you could just use those scraps to make kind of what Sheri did with that other card with her scraps, right?
So yeah, that's how I got the base for the card. And then for the 12 by 12 scrapbook page, I'm going to cut that to just adhere it. So for this one, I am cutting again. So in general, the rule of thumb is you want to go a 1/4 inch smaller on your pretty paper than your card base. So as you remember, I cut these at 4 1/4. So I want to take off a 1/4 inch and I'm going to cut my scrapbook paper at 4.
Is that the same size paper?
No, this is 8 1/2 by 11, cut in half. This is 12 by 12 paper. Because typically scrapbook paper is sold in 12 by 12 or 6 by 6. Cardstock is sold 8 1/2 by 11. is typical sizes. There are some 12 by 12 scrapbook paper that doesn't have any print or anything to it, but it's harder and harder to find these days. So that's why I'm using the 2. So I cut this in 4 in 3 pieces, which will go in nice and even. So then you'll get 3 strips for your pretty scrapbook paper. Okay, and then this is like the easiest card ever, so I feel bad. Then you'll want to cut this, like I said, 1/4 inch smaller. So this one we cut at 5.5. We scored at 5.5. So this one we are scoring at 5.25, or we're cutting at 5.25. So I got 2. Hi. That was my son asking to play on electronics because he knows that I'm busy. That's the way we go. So I'm cutting all of them at 5.25. Okay, so I got 6 pieces that look like this. 4 by 5.25.
Yeah.
Okay, and I got 3 pieces, and I don't know the measurements, but these are my 3 leftover scraps.
So we're not seeing the other camera. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. We only see when you put it in front of that mat, just so you know.
Okay, then you'll have to change your settings to gallery view so that you can see my face.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so you're gonna get, these are my scraps. I'll show it in my hands. And this is the piece of paper that I cut will be the base of, or not the base, but the decorative portion of the card. Okay, so then you just take your card, and flatten out the top, and then you can choose which side of the paper you like best. I kind of like the flowers, but I'll probably do a little bit of both. Put a little bit of tape on it, and then do your best to center it. Actually, I think the flowers go this way a little better. And that's your card. That's it. Does that make sense?
I was thinking that it might be nice for the inside to print a quote from like Elder Holland or something like that, just a cheering up message of, you know, Christ saying, I will be with you, or whatever.
I think that's an excellent idea. So then you can just decorate the card. You could put some ribbon around the top. I punched out lots of these little shapes. It's a cute little label. And then I'll just put the greeting on there and call it good. However, I used a pretty dark cardstock base. So you can't, like Jill said, if you want to print out something and put it in here, I would do that also at 4 by 5.25 to cut that and put it here. If you want to handwrite a message, I would just do white cardstock. In fact, I probably have a sample of some of those. I'll show you some samples later where I've done that. My kind of the way I do send cards is I write on a Post-it note. Amazon has these Post-it notes that are sticky all the way on the back, like they're completely sticky. And you could use a regular one too, but I find sometimes they fall off. I just put a Post-it note in here with my message, and then the person who receives the card can pull off the Post-it note and write a note themselves and kind of pay it forward. So you can do that if you would like. Let me show you.
That's such a good idea, Sheri. Do they come in lots of colors?
They do. Yeah.
I love that idea.
I love it when Sheri sends me a card like that.
Yeah. Do you say anything in the card? Like, do you tell the person, like, pull this off and reuse the card? Do you say that?
Look at Tomoko's screen. Can you see Tomoko's screen? She was just showing her the pack.
So they're actually Post-it brand.
They're Pro Stick brand, and what does it say? Full sticky? Is that what it says?
Full stick.
Yeah.
Full
Oh, that's
stick
so
notes.
cool. That's so cool.
They just stay on better, so that's why I like them. And it's kind of a lot, so you might not even want that many. We could probably split them up if somebody wants to order them, because you might not need that many. So you can make 6 cards just like this from one piece of scrapbook paper. So if you, I know probably all of us, you buy scrapbook paper because it's so pretty and it's cute.
Mhm.
So if you've done that, all your work is done, because you're just gonna showcase the pretty paper and let them do the job. So let me show you how to use the bits and scraps. So again, just fold this. And then, so yeah, the card can open like this. Let's see, there we go, like this. Or you can open it like this, either way. So I am just gonna take these 3 scraps, and there is a pattern to this. So that's a lot of time right now to try to make sure the patterns match. So I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm just gonna use the yellow side and just adhere to the left, line it up, make a border, adhere, oops, that was not it. Adhere to the left, and adhere to the right. And then put your piece of paper in the middle. If you start at the left and go middle, then to the right, I never get them nicely balanced. But it's easier to try to split the difference than it is to go the other way.
That's a great tip.
And then I would put a little label there in the center with the probably thinking of you. So let me again show you. These are the samples with that cut. This is, the prettier the paper, the prettier your card's going to be.
They're beautiful.
Will do. So that is so easy, and you can make a ton of cards in a really short time. Any questions?
Is there a date that we're trying to get these done by?
I'm going to stop the recording if there's no questions for the demonstration.